Yeah. Good evening, everyone. So, welcome back to another video of PPS by Jai Balaya series. So, as you people know, we have started with loops yesterday, and mainly there are three loops. The first one is for loop, the second one is while loop, and the third one is do while loop. Right? The third one is do while. Just wait, I'll increase my font. Yeah. First one is for loop, while loop, and do while loop. For now, we have started with for loop. As you people know, we have started with for loop. So in this video, let's go in depth with for loop. Let's not start while or do while today. Let's do some practical examples. Let's write some programs so people get familiar with for loop. The reason is, no matter which lab program you're gonna start, without this nothing is gonna work out. So that is the reason. Let's do some more examples for loop. So before that, I'll restate the syntax for loop. It is for semicolon, semicolon, and close. Okay, bracket open, bracket close. But these segments are the for loop segments. And what are these gaps? The first gap, the first slot, what you see here below this is called as initialization, where we initialize the loop. The second one is called as termination, where we set the end point of the loop, and this is either increment or decrement. This is the beauty of for loop. This is the only reason why I love for loop, because everything is crystal clear and it's all there in one line. This is the reason for loop is the most popular loops. And for all my lab programs, or it may be class programs, okay, the only loop I'm going to use is for loop. And I want you people to master at least one among this. Since I am proficient with for and I am proficient with while, I always prefer for loop because of its simplicity. Okay, if you people feel that while loop is better, if you people feel that do while is better, go for it. Nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong until and unless your program output is correct. Okay, so let's really understand what is it. See, you have to write the keyword for. The color is gonna change. Here you have to initialize a loop. Let's say I want to print first 5 natural numbers or first n natural numbers. Okay, so natural number starts from 1. I initialize the value of I is equal to 1, where I is nothing but the variable. You should initialize it as I comma n semicolon, and in the scanf you take the input for n. This is not the syntax, this is just to show that you have taking an input of n. So I less than or equal to n I plus plus. I'll trace this, you will understand. Printf percentage t I, that's it, and close. So now what happens is let's understand here. See, initially the value of I is equal to 1. We enter the loop because I is equal to 1, the condition is true. I is equal to 1, since 1 is less than or equal to n, like n may be 5, the condition is true. Printf the value of I. What is the value of I? 1. Then we again come back here. Before that, now we are incrementing the value of I plus plus. I becomes 2. Is 2 still less than n or equal to n? True. We are coming back in, we are typing 3. I plus plus, I becomes 3. 3 is still true. Go back, plus plus, I is equal to 4. Still true. Go back. I is equal to 5. Still true. Go back. Now I is equal to 6. Is it still true? Is 6 less than or equal to 5? The condition is gonna fail, will come out of for loop. So we got the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? This is how for loop is gonna work. This is exactly how for loop is gonna work. And remember, first only once initialization part is gonna happen. Only once initialize. Immediately after that, it is gonna check the termination condition. If it satisfies the termination condition, it goes inside. If the condition doesn't satisfy, it will come out of for loop. After that, increment, then check termination. After that, increment, then check termination. Only once it's initialize and termination check. After that, it's always increment and terminate check, increment and terminate check. Right? For example, let's assume for I is equal to 0. Okay, I is equal to 0 ani petukundam. Here, if I is greater than 0, I plus plus. This is the condition I have written. I should be greater than 0. Okay, now tell me, I is equal to 0, right? Now check the termination condition. Is 0 greater than 0? No, 0 is not greater than 0. So it will not even enter the loop, it will directly come out. right? Because I initialized I value as 0. 0 is not greater than 0. Directly come out. For loop is not even gonna get executed. Clear? So first time I'll tell you how it starts. First, the moment you initialize, that is the first part, it will get executed. Second time, the termination part will be checked. After that, increment and go back to 2. Increment and go back to 2. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Now I understand. First initialize. Immediately after initialization, check for termination. Then increment, check. Then increment, check. Then increment, check. This is how for loop is gonna work. Okay, this is how for loop is gonna work. It is the most beautiful loop, guys. It is the most beautiful loop. Most beautiful. I really love this because you have initialization, termination, increment or decrement in a single line. What else do you need? So master for loop. I'll write one more program. Let's write some more programs. Example, write a C program. Write a C program to print factorial of n numbers. Factorial of n numbers. I believe you are following my videos from class 0 or class 1. If that is true, then you will easily understand my teachings. Or else, guys, if in case you are PPS students and you don't know my previous classes, you can't directly come to for loop. You have to start from there so that you understand everything. See, it is a train. C programming or PPS is a train. Okay, if you miss one compartment, the train is lost. So make sure you start from class 1, then come to 2, then come where I am now. Don't start from loops directly. Mottam smash అయిపోద్ది. This is my warning. So let's come back. The program is write a C program to print the factorial of n numbers. First, understand what is factorial. Factorial ante, I know you people are degree level, you will be knowing 5 factorial is equal to 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. If it is 10 factorial, 10 into 9 into 8 into so on up to 2 into 1, right? Now understand E is 5 factorial, that is 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 is equal to 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. Is anything wrong? This will get 120. This is also will get 120, which is equal to 5 factorial, right? It's correct, right? So my for loop will use this kind of representation and not this kind of representation. Okay, now understand. You know hash include, you know main. Then you initialize the int n comma I. N is for taking the number and I is for loop. Then you printf, enter the number, scanf, you take the input for %d, %n. This much I believe people are very familiar. Now let's start the for loop. For, tell me, if I initialize I is equal to 0, will this make any sense? 0 multiplied by anything will become 0. So start I is equal to 1. I is equal to 1. And where am I taking the input? I am taking it in the variable n. I less than or equals n. See, if I enter the number 5, in 5 factorial, we also have 5 into 4, right? That's the reason I less than or equal to n, I plus plus. Clear? I plus plus. Now see, fact, I am initializing a variable fact that is equal to fact into I semicolon close. This is my formula. So come back here and initialize int fact one more variable called fact. You will ask me, sir, why did you write fact? What is the meaning of this? I'll explain this. Now before that, close the program. Return 0 and before that here, printf val is equal to %d comma fact. Okay, print the factorial value. Now see what happens. My formula is fact is equal to fact into I, right? And where does my while I starts from when till less than or equal to n. Now let's trace the program. Okay, initialize fact is equal to 1 because even fact can't be 0. Anything multiplied by 0 is 0. Fact is equal to 1 semicolon. Now understand the logic. Here I am having the I variable, here I am having the fact variable. Okay, now let's start the loop. So initially, where does my for loop start? I is equal to 1. I is equal to 1. Is I less than or equal to n? The condition is true. If I give the number as 5, the condition is true. So formula, fact is equal to fact into I. Initial value of fact is, I declared it as 1. So 1 into 1, that is equal to 1. Done. This loop gets completed. First iteration is complete. Now I plus plus. You people know I plus plus. Now the value of I is equal to 2. Is 2 still less than or equal to n, that is 5? True. So fact is equal to previous value of fact, that is 1, fact into, and the next number I value now is 2. 1 into 2 is 2. Terminate it here. Second iteration complete. Come back. I plus plus. Now I is equal to 3. I is equal to 3. 3 is still less than or equal to 5, which is my n value. So fact is equal to previous value of fact is 2. 2 into now I value is 3, 6. Complete. Now come back. I plus plus again. Now I is equal to 4. 4 is still less than or equal to 5, which is true. So fact is equal to, now the fact value is 6. 6 into, and I value is 4, that is equal to 6 4s are 24. If I am not bad at maths. Next, I value is again incrementer. I is equal to 5. Is 5 less than or equal to 5? Yes, it is still true. So fact is equal to 24 into 5. 5 4s are 20, 0 to carry, 5 2s are 10, 120, right? Fact value became 120. Now come back. I plus plus happens. Now I is equal to 6. Is 6 less than or equal to 5? Here the loop breaks and will come out of for loop. We come out of for loop. And what is the value of fact now? 120, which will get printed here. Is the answer correct? Is my logic correct? We'll check it. 5 factorial is equal to 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. 5 4s are 20, 23s are 60, 62s are 120, 121s are 120. And what answer I got here? 120. That is perfectly the right answer. See, people may feel like sir wrote this formula in one line. I am not that fast. This for loop and all, sir can do it like this, but we are noobs. We are really freshers. I know. Okay, even I didn't master for loop in a single go. It takes real hard efforts. I want you people to explore for loop like anything. Okay, this is one example. Now I'll show you infinite loops where it will never gonna break. See, if in case you write your for loop like this, blank for loop like this is always true. This is always true. There is no initialization, there is no termination, there is no increment decrement. This loop is infinite. This will never end. This loop is never gonna end. This is case 1. This is case 1. Case 2, you initialize I is equal to 0, I less than 5, and you don't initialize increment or decrement. This is also always true. See, initially I is equal to 0, which is still less than or equal to 5, condition is true. It gets executed. It comes here and checks for any increment or decrement. Nothing. So it will still remain as I is equal to 0, I is equal to 0, I is equal to 0 throughout. This is also a problem with for loop. The next kind of infinite loop is for I is equal to 0, no termination condition, I plus plus. No termination. So what happens? I is equal to 0. It checks for termination. There is no termination at all. It will come inside. It will increment the value of I, which becomes 1. Then checks for termination. No termination. True. I is equal to 2. So on. I value keeps on incrementing. This is second type of infinite loop. See, remember, if in case all your 3 conditions are perfect, that is initialization, termination, and increment / decrement, only then your for loop is perfect. If in case you make any mistake somewhere, that you fail to give a perfect termination, or you fail to give a perfect initialization, or you fail to give a perfect increment or decrement, you will be stuck in that dilemma forever. You are never gonna come out. You are never gonna come out of a loop. The best and the most important for loop, no matter what loop it is, the most important part of any loop is initialization, termination, and increment decrement. This is common for all for loop, do while, and while loop. Okay, make sure you people understand this. So you want me to write one more simple program? I believe I should not write this, but would you like to see a loop inside loop? Nested loops? You want to see an example for nested loops? This is your lab program to print first n prime numbers to check if a given number is prime or not. I think I shouldn't do this. No, I won't do this because you people will get scared. You people will really get scared. I won't do this today, but I believe you people are familiar with for loop now. So next time, tomorrow I'll do lab program. Okay, tomorrow I'll do lab program. For now, try writing for loops for whatever you want. whatever you want, just do it, just do. Yeah, one more thing, never keep a semicolon here. Yeah, this is one kind of error. If you write like this, you write perfect initialization, you write perfect termination. One second, there is water here. Okay, you write perfect initialization, you perfect termination, and you put semicolon here. This is an error. There is no semicolon at the end of for loop. This is also most important. See the syntax. I wrote syntax here somewhere. Can you see the syntax? Is there any semicolon in the end here? There is no semicolon. Okay, see, there is no semicolon here. Please don't write like this. This is an error. This is a clear-cut error. Okay, so here I complete for loop completely. There are few lab programs. We'll do it after while and do while. So now let me explain you. Should I explain you while loop? You want me to do it? Yeah, I can explain the while loop part. While loop. No. I'll keep a separate video for it. I'm posting it today itself, but in a separate video. Okay, bye bye.